Hello and welcome to another Emm-Bee Motorhomes instructional video, and today we're going to have a look at the Majestic 120 on a 2016 model. So let's have a look around the outside first, and then we'll have a look on the inside on how to use and get the most out of this vehicle. So first of all, we're going to have a look inside the engine bay just so we can get a view of everything that we need. Just to open it, we're going to pull the handle that can be found on the passenger side as we open the door, and then reach our hand in underneath the bonnet and simply lift this catch. That will release. You can open the bonnet, and then we have the safety arm here that will hold it into this red section. Inside, we'll notice, like most modern vehicles, we'll have a lot of access inside the vehicle. For any reason you should have a flat battery, this is your charging point, and you'll notice the other one just down there at the bottom. The other fluid containers are here, but the important one for ourselves, of course, is the wiper fluid, and that's where we will find out the capacity for it there. Let's come around the side of the vehicle now so that we can get an idea of what we're looking at inside. So we're just going to open the passenger side door, and here in the passenger side door we can gain access to the cab and start to see a number of different elements that might be useful. First of all, this is where our release catch is to get inside of the engine bay, and then we have the rest of the vehicle. We'll notice just under the passenger seat is the toolbox and access, and under the driver's seat there is a drainage container that we can use. We also have in this particular vehicle the blinds at the front. They're operated by simply pinching the two together and pulling it across, and of course it will go all the way across the window and they meet together magnetically. We have also the same with the side windows. We simply pull that and pull it down. Be careful with them just so that they don't break, and that will give you the protection that you need. As we come further around the vehicle, we'll notice just down here, this is where our container is to get into the petrol. We're pulling it just here in this corner, and as we pull it, here we go, access to the diesel fuel that we need to fill. We'll come into the door shortly. Let's just go around the outside of the vehicle. We'll see here on the side, just at the back, is an access point. This should be key locked. I've opened it so that we can see inside, and as we open, this gives us access to our leisure battery, but it also gives us access here to where we will be plugging in when we're on a site. Now, if you notice just here at the bottom, there is a groove for the wire to go through, so make sure that we put it in and then you plug it in, and as long as the wire is there, when you shut it again, it won't catch and you can keep it secure. Just remember to make sure that you take it out before that you leave. As we come round now to the behind of the vehicle, this particular model has a bike rack that is fitted, and the bike rack has an easy operation in terms of getting it down, simply held into place by this arm currently at the moment, and this clip here and this clip here. We simply lift this arm, release these two clips, and as we do, the whole situation should come down. I'm going to do that for you now so that you can have a look at it, but it is a two-handed operation. And now you can see the bike rack is down. That's its function there. We fasten tight to make sure that the bike is on, using the arms to connect to the crossbars and keep it secure whilst traveling. Let's move a little further around the vehicle now. We're going to come around this side so that we can see a little bit more. And here at the back we have our water infill. We simply undo the section, we'll be able to gain access into there, and we simply put our hose pipe in there and fill. Now, the important, remembering this, directly underneath we have access here to our tap. This is our freshwater drain. It very clearly says open or shut on it. So all we need to do is just make sure it's turned to the correct procedure. If you're filling it up and water's coming out, then it's probably in the wrong place. You'll also notice the other side of the tyre is the grey. That's the wastewater that's coming from the shower, from the sink, and also from the kitchen sink. So we need to make sure that both of those are closed when filling up the water. And of course, when we get to the winter period, try and drain out the water, otherwise we can cause damage when the water freezes. As we move up a little bit further, we'll just come across the vehicle, and we can see here quite clearly marked, this is the gas cabinet. Again, it is locked. It's got access for 2 gas bottles. The regulator is fitted. And then finally, just behind the driver's door, we have access to our toilet cassette, where we'll push both buttons together simultaneously to open the cassette. It's a two-handed operation, so I'm going to just do that for you now. And now that we've opened the cassette, we can see what we're looking at. This is the standard kind of toilet cassettes. So if you have used these before, you'll know exactly what you're doing. But if not, I'll just show you the application. We simply pull the handle up so that it's released from its catch mechanism and pull the whole unit out. This is the unit that we want to look at, and when we pull it out, we'll be able to see how we use the operation. So now you can see that I have pulled the cassette out. There's a lovely handle that can pull up. We simply unclip it from the 2 clips there and it lifts up. This is for easy movement around the site to the waste site so that we get it, and then when we're done, we simply push that unit in and it goes simply round either of these 2 plastic nodules to make sure that it's tied. Now if I just tip it on its side now, we can see the whole unit. So what we have here is this part here is our drain function. So when we're ready to drain it, we simply turn it to the position, we unscrew the cap. Now this cap can also be used as a filler to put the blue in, or any of the kind of the things that we need to protect it. So we simply fill that there, and then when we are ready to drain it, we would tip it up by gravity and then push this button here. And when we push this button here, that gravity chain will of course then mean that the water comes out without spurting. So we press that and it allows oxygen to come in through the top. If we want access inside of the unit, we simply pull this aside here and we would click this, which would open the blade, and that gives us access inside of the unit. And then make sure the blade is back on firmly. That's only if we would need for cleaning, but for draining, this is how we do. Once we're finished, we screw the cap back on, make sure that it's on clearly, put back the drainage point back securely, and then we're going to put it back into the unit. Once the unit is pushed back in, we simply push it in and make sure that this handle is down inside of these 2 clips, and that will give us the security. And then shut the door and everything is ready. So we're going to come back round now and we're going to have a look at the inside of the vehicle. So we have our lovely door handle here. We just simply pull it towards us to open. You can see the lock catch there. If we are in, we can lock it at night. That will keep us secure if you so wish, and that's quite easy. When we close the door, it actually does have a catch that's going to catch it just there at the back. So just make sure you've got it in a firm position, and that should hold the door and stop wind blowing it around. Once we gain access, you'll notice that just here we've got access to our awning winding, and we do have other videos that will explain how to unladen the awning for you, so please do look into those. And you'll also notice that there is a table that's here accessible to be used inside and outside of the vehicle. Once we get in, these are all the elements that we can see. We've got our rear lounge here at the back that's going to convert into a double bed. We've got our kitchen set up as well, and our bathroom set up, as well as quite a lot of storage. Some of this of course is also access to important things that we need to look at. But the bit that we do need to just grab hold of now first of all is our operations here. So if we notice that we've got several switches that are going to give us the instructionals that we need. First of all, we've got our master switch. That's the most important one. Make sure that's turned on. As it's turned on, you see the lights that they've come on around the vehicle. We've also got that here that will turn on other lights. We've got our awning light. As you notice, there was an awning light outside there. This is our pump switch that must be turned on. So once you've got all your water laden, you turn the pump switch on, and at that point then you know that you can use the hot water. The way that you get the system to arm is simply make sure that that is turned down, and then on the sink unit you want to turn it all the way to hot and start to pour it out. As you pour it out into the unit, once it starts to run a steady stream, then you have purged the system of air. We recommend you do exactly the same in the shower and in the bathroom sink, even if you're not going to use them, just simply to stop the air getting stuck in those units, and then you will have hot water that's available. We also have here this, we'll notice that the voltage is giving us a reading here that's when we've turned everything on so that we can keep an idea of where we are. And when we press it to the water, we also get a reading which tells us how much water, and at the moment the water tanks are empty. Obviously that's for a safety reason, so please make sure that you check that and you fill, and you'll know where you are up to with your water levels. So let's have a look just a bit further into the vehicle. We'll notice here in this particular storage cabinet there is plenty of storage, but this one just down here at the bottom, this isn't a storage bay. This actually gives us access to our fuse box. Now, if there is any reason at all that you've had a trip or any issues, then that's where your access is, and you should be able to have a look and easily access any issues that might be going. Now here at the back, we've got this lovely spacious lounge that we can put that table up if we wish, but we can also turn this into a double bed situation. And that's easily done by moving of the covers, and then in particular pulling out the bed section. So if you're unaware of this or you've never used it before, then here we have right here, this is where we pull the bed out by simply pulling that unit and pulling all the way across. And as we pulled it across, you'll notice now that we have a bed setting, and we can make the bed by simply moving these two center cushions into the middle, or we can make it by taking the tops off simply like this and placing them into the space. We can do the same with the other side, and we'll then have a whole double bed that will be created very comfortable for us to sleep transverse on the bed. Now, I am also going to show you that you can access underneath either of these seats. We do have important things that we need to kind of grasp hold of and get used to. So I'm just going to pause and get this ready for you. So now we've moved the cushions, and you can see that you have got access under each of the sides for you. So if I pull up this side, it's a simple operation just to pull it up. You can't pull the end bit, so please don't try. You'd have to unscrew to get access to there. In here we've got our heating systems. You shouldn't need to mess with any of the kind of sections there, but it's also important that you remember this particular yellow switch here. This is part of the water pump system. It does need to be turned on for this to work. Under the other side, I'll just open it up. We do have access to our carpets which come with this unit. They are here. And then our water tanks, if you remember, they were filled on this side of the vehicle, and so we have got internal access for any reason that you might need to get in there. I'll close that down for you. The other thing to also note, just while we're here at the back, let's have a look here at the windows. We can look at the front, the rear, but all the window operations are the same. At the top we have our clips. The first one, or the back one, this will give us our fly clip. We simply bring it down and it's going to clip by actually sliding behind the unit there. We can unclip that so that it goes back up, and the front one gives us our vanity blind. Same again, we want to clip it so that it's unclipped, and there we have protection from prying eyes. We also have our curtains and other aspects that we might want that we're going to look at. So the final thing then, just to show you, is I'm just going to get together and show you the heating system. So the final element then is to show you here on our whale system with regards to the use of the hot water and of the heating of the cab. So obvious probably it is, this is our cab heating and this is our water heating, both obviously labelled. Here we have our temperature set. So although it's not going to give us an exact reading, it's a kind of a level to you want to. The plus and minus are going to give us where we want to go to here. That's of course here in the heating in the cab. The hot water is just set to a standard heating. So to simply make it to work, we press this, providing that the pump was on and that we've got that switch, that we press this here and we simply move it across. So we've got a number of different choices that we can use here. So the first one here is to give us what we call level 1 electric. That can be useful in particular if we're on sites where the voltage is less than it would be in the UK. Some French sites are at 110. Well, then we've got the level 2, or then we can have gas, or then we can have a mix of gas and electric, or a mix of gas and electric at level 2. And the same thing is also true of our heating. It gives us the same. So we can go here at level 1, level 2, level 3, then that will be gas, or it will be gas and electric. And that gives us the use and how to use it. And then if we make sure that it's off, we're not in use, we're not obviously using anything that we don't need to. So that concludes for us here. We've seen all the different functions that we've got. Also, just to remember that we do have here our dual fuel fridge. So it just gives us an easily accessible how to use. So simply we're going to turn it. We've got the mains electric, the battery or the gas bottle or off. And then we can set a temperature here that we want to do. So that will give us the function and how to use it. And there we have it. So I hope that you've enjoyed our run through here on the Majestic, and this answers and helps you to get the most out of the use of your vehicle. Thank you very much.